Good evening, everyone. I am Judge Dawson, and I am compelled to do a quick diary. This one is after a long day of court. There was a young man in front of me, 18 years old, and it looks like he just turned 18. He's one of those, young 18-year-olds, and he was charged with a domestic violence offense where he terrorized and even possibly assaulted a couple of members of his family, some younger siblings. And what's interesting about the case, and I just want to mention this because it goes to what we're talking about a legacy, about investing in your children. There was a point where it was blurted out in court that the young man's mother no longer wanted him to come home. Now, with this case being fresh and, at the infantile stages, and I knew that this young man had no other place to go, what was I left to do? So the first thing I had to do was I told the young man that, listen, though you've heard that your mom doesn't want you to come home, I decided to speak life into him. I told him that it's not that you are a monster. It's not that your parents don't love you or your mother doesn't love you, but when these events happen, there has to be a cooling off period, there has to be a healing period, and there has to be a change in your behavior so that the people that are in your family feels comfortable. See, domestic violence, when it gets to the core of it, it is so tragic because you are harming someone in your own household. It's almost like you are a prisoner in your home with nowhere to go. So the courts and the law, it's taken very seriously. Domestic violence is taken very seriously. So this young man, I couldn't let go out or go home because he had no place to go, which leads me to another point. I saw immediately that there was no father in the home. Now, I've been doing posts and I've been talking about legacy and how we need to build up our families, and dads, fathers need to be involved. And the bottom line is, young women and men, before you involve yourselves in sexual relationships where you're having children, you have to look down the line at the possible consequences. Raising these young men and young ladies alone as a single parent in today's times is difficult. It's very difficult. So if you can avoid that choice, avoid it. Because here we go, the man is not in the home. Now the son is going to the point where he's terrorizing the family, but there's no father present. The father lives in another city, and we have to contact the father to see if that's possibly a viable place for him to go. So we have to invest in our children. We have to make good decisions, and we really need to curb the single parent homes. And I don't know how we're going to do it because no one's talking to their children about that. No one's telling them to stop having sex so early and to not have children or to at least postpone that. And if we don't break that cycle, we'll see young men and young women to continue to come into my court and even juvenile courts younger with domestic violence charges because they're not well adjusted and they don't know how to make adult or good decisions. So that's something that I'm dealing with today. That's something that I'm struggling with, and I just wanted to share that with you because I believe one of my missions as a judge is not only to be a cycle breaker, but is to give as much wisdom as I can as long as I can. So I'll be giving you these videos. It's a day on the bench. I'm Judge Dawson. I'll talk to you soon.